Hello, purely Arsenal FP listeners. Sunday morning here in cloudy California. I thought I'd come on and discuss the 2-1 defeat to Bournemouth yesterday, and Bournemouth doing the double over us. Look, fans are rightly very, very frustrated. Sorry, one of my eyes is looking all puffy. Rightly very, very frustrated from the game. We didn't rotate the team. A lot of people moaning heavily about us not doing that after the defeat. Not so much before it. People were kind of all for it and feeling like we needed to build up confidence. I'm not sure we had a ton of choice in rotation just because of what we have available. I think Ranieri's got a good shout in asking why he's not starting games like this, especially with Odegaard and the form that he's in. And obviously Timber was hopefully just rested. And we could have done something different at left back and given Lewis Skelly a rest. Beyond that, I don't think we could have done much more, really. I mean, you can't be asking for Sterling. We've seen him start games in the recent past, and he shouldn't be starting again. So I don't really see what other options there were for him beyond those two changes, and I do think those two are fair. In terms of the game, I thought we played quite well early on. I thought Declan Rice was fantastic. Obviously, the goal was fantastic. It was actually a really, really good ball from Odegaard. And I think Odegaard's come in for his most criticism after this game, but I actually think he was a lot better at times in this game than others. But the problem with him is he just looks so weak on the ball at the moment. Like, if there's any challenge near him, he never comes out with the ball, or he falls down and expects a free kick that he knows he's not going to get. And it just reeks of someone that's not physically quite at their maximum capacity or close to it. And obviously you've seen that he's had like quite a dramatic weight loss, it looks like, and we don't really know the reasons behind that. Hopefully that's not intentional, because it's not helped him, I don't think. But we don't know what the full health status is of the player. But again, if there is a question mark over that, this is the sort of game that you should be resting and rotating him in. So I don't really understand that, and I think that Ranieri's definitely in with a shout of why he's not getting more minutes. It's certainly in these types of games. Beyond that, obviously we get our goal. We probably should get another one within that time frame before they get theirs. And yeah, we've struggled against Bournemouth recently, really. Obviously they beat us at their place when we were down to 10 men, but we were poor before and after that, from what I remember. I thought Ben White was really poor. I mean, he's been fit now for 3 months, Ben White, and I know he hasn't played too many games in that time, and there's been mutterings about his frustration because of that. But I don't think you can be at all frustrated when you're playing like that. I mean, I think most of their attacking threat came down the left wing, from what I remember. I must have seen him bypassed about half a dozen times. And I think when you've got someone like Urian Timber, who I do think has been drastically overplayed this season in a post-ACL season because of Ben White's injuries and because of Tomiyasu's injuries, I think you might have to look at that and just think we should be asking a little bit more of Ben White at this point. And, you know, he's definitely still getting himself back to full fitness. But he doesn't look like someone that we can actually start in that position at this moment in time, which you never would have thought you could say about Ben White. Let's hope it's just a fitness thing with him. Yeah, I mean, in terms of their goals, you know, it was 2 set pieces, wasn't it? So it was 2 set pieces with their goals. And, yeah, it's really, really poor defending. You know, the first goal was a throw-in, so I was trying to remember the first goal. That's what happens when you do 24 hours later. And it was he's 6'5", isn't he? That Hussein that everyone wants, and it's just so easy for him, though. He just stands there and just flicks it on. We've got to be doing more there to put pressure on him, or try to win the ball earlier, or have someone on a post or something. They clearly, like a long throw-in, sometimes like we do. The second one's really shambolic from our perspective in terms of defending. Raya doesn't cover himself in glory. Odegaard doesn't either. It is a handball. It is a handball. And what I love about this, or hate about it, is when it happened, I knew it was getting given. As soon as I saw it hit the elbow, I knew it was getting given, because I knew they'd say it was inconclusive. And that is pretty difficult for Arsenal fans to take when we've seen some of the handballs that have been given against us. A couple against Kai Havertz, I remember one at Villa. think 2 at Villa, 1 at Villa and 1 at home against Villa, both of which were just as inconclusive, I would argue, about whether it truly touched his hand or not. And but you knew it was getting given when they were showing just awful camera angles, in which I found very odd that they didn't show better camera angles, because the average Twitter bloke had it on his Skybox a few hours later. But at 2-1, I never thought we were coming back into it, to be honest, and that says a lot for our season. You know, when we go 1-0 up, how many times I think we've lost 10 leads? It's just not good enough. It's not good enough, and now we've pulled ourselves into a top 5 battle. I think Newcastle just drew today, which is something we shouldn't be looking at, but we have to be. He has to get top 5. I have to say, even a month ago, I said I felt we were in a top 4 battle, and that was when it didn't even look like we were, because I felt there was going to be an inevitable drop-off once Liverpool won the league. And the fact that we've been trying so hard to go for a league title for about 3 seasons now, and we've never quite got there. And this would be the first time that we've finally realised that it's not happened before, basically the last few games of the season. And I just felt, with us being in the Champions League as well, there was going to be a collective drop-off. I didn't think it'd be this much, to be honest, but I did think there'd be a collective drop-off. I've almost felt it was human nature for there to be, plus the fact that we just don't have the squad to be able to rotate between 2 competitions. So I have a little bit of sympathy with Arteta there. PSG rotated the whole team. They rotated the whole team. 1 player, I think Neves, played, so they're going to be super fresh. They're at home, of course. We're not. We played a lot of players far too much, like Saka and Rice, I think, played far too much. Odegaard even wouldn't have started him. Lewis Skelly possibly. So I don't know what we've got left in us, to be honest. And going to Paris is not easy. Liverpool got battered there, 27 shots to 2. Forget about the scoreline. It was an absolutely smash and grab. And that was absolutely evident there. They shouldn't have even been in the tie when it got back to Anfield, to be honest. And Villa were much the same. I think they got outshot by about 30-9 or something. They are, if people think they were fantastic, you know, for the first 30 minutes at the Emirates, they'll be, I think there'll be a whole nother level in Paris, and it's going to be extremely tough. But I'll give you my lineup. The lineup I would play is probably the lineup that everyone would play. Thomas Partey back in, same back 4. Timber at right back, hopefully he's fit. Rice and Odegaard in the midfield, though I know there's a lot of question marks about Odegaard. He's not going to change Odegaard, so I'd play that. And then it'd be Saka, Martinelli and Marino up top. I would be using Trossard as a frustrated member from the bench. And it's all on this one, really. But we do have a lot to play for now in the league. And Liverpool and Newcastle to come. You know, if we don't win one of those, it's going to go down to the last day of the season away at Southampton, and we're not in any sort of form at the moment to think we can get easy victories in the Premier League. So we brought ourselves back into a top 5 battle that we never should have been in, and that is largely, I think, on the manager and the players. But the manager has to take some sort of responsibility there, because that shouldn't ever have been a thing, but it is. But yeah, all in on Wednesday. Gotta believe in you. Fingers crossed. I'll be Arsenal. Subscribe, like, comment.